Hello. This will be a channel message for you, for your highest good, and I trust that it found you at the perfect time. I really appreciate you being here with me in this moment, and as always, I love you so, so much. Really interesting energy today. Really interesting. Where is it going to go? Ooh, not sure. We'll figure it out. I think this is one of those let's see where it takes us. But really clear themes are showing up, like some repeating kind of patterns here. Let's get into it. I want to start with the past position here. I get the Eight of Cups upright. You guys have embarked on a journey, right? An emotional journey within yourself. I'm getting to reconnect with yourself and get more out of life in a way that I think you've decided that there's more for you and that you can make life feel better. Get more pleasure out of life and be able to be in touch with your creative body. So it's like you wanted to make something or make something of yourself, express yourself, get more in touch with you, who you are, right? And it's clarified by this super potion card. I'm really seeing the orange here, the sacral chakra with these tinges of red. It's like something about your identity here and your creative force and feeling good. And I'm getting maybe an energy of a past life in this life, but feels like past life now maybe, where things felt pretty good, but maybe there was some coping that was happening because you were out of alignment with your purpose and you just knew that there was something more. There was just something that was out there for you, and you spent some time kind of formulating it in your head and materializing like what it even was. You know, there's some kind of exploration into yourself, into your position here as a creator, and healing that pleasure center. You know what I mean? It's like it starts with getting in touch with yourself first. And I see you kind of on the journey here. There's a big theme about being on the journey. And where you are now with this Chariot in reverse, it may not feel like things are moving at the speed you like, or you feel like you have that level of control that you would like or you're used to, because I think that you've come from, and I'm getting big fish in a small pond kind of frequency here. You've come from a life that was a bit easier to control. It was out of alignment, and you had ways of making yourself kind of feel good and pleasure yourself. Maybe something that was a bit fleeting, but you were able to feel safe and in control. Just some kind of a nagging feeling has pulled you out of it. And despite any kind of challenges and setbacks, you guys are persisting on this journey here. Maybe right now, in this current energy, I don't know, there's some kind of funny, it could be like a car thing too. Like that, the Chariot in reverse is just like car problems. Could be an issue with your earthly vehicle here, with your body, some kind of setback, or just needing to get that rest, you know, pay more attention to yourself, pour more into yourself, kind of like book yourself in for a service or something, you know what I mean? Like just get more into that rested state. I think Spirit wants you to be rested for what's to come here, and maybe that's why there's an element of being held back. It's clarified by this polywag, right? This tadpole. Really interesting, right? This card reads, its newly grown legs prevent it from running. It appears to prefer swimming over trying to stand, right? But that line there, its newly grown legs prevent it from running. So you're on this journey and you've connected with parts of yourself that were lost. Like you've grown new legs. There's been an exploration of the emotions here, and I'm seeing the spiral, and it's really, I think, about connecting back in with yourself and the center point of who you are. And it's like you've found yourself here, I'm hearing. You've embarked on this healing journey, setting out to heal your creative expression and who you are, and you're finding the center of who you are, reconnecting with lost parts of yourself here. It's so, so beautiful. And there's a theme around expansion as you go through this process, as you connect on deeper levels, as you connect more with yourself on deeper levels. The expansion is happening at a healthy level, and maybe that's why you're feeling like you're being held back a little bit, or you can't run with these new legs that you've grown, but it's actually a protection mechanism. And with the expansion of the chakras and the rebalancing of the chakras and connecting with the higher self and being able to see things from a higher perspective and having all these new controls, like it's like life, you're the vehicle and life is the car, right? And you're seeing all of the new controls instead of getting in the car and it's taking you somewhere like some kind of robo Tesla car. And maybe in the past you're like, well, life takes me from A to B, but I don't really know how it works. You're actually seeing all of the controls a bit more clearly now because you're expanding. But your physical body, with the way the chakras, the light bends in on themselves to create our organs. So you're actually probably experiencing physical changes in your body. Your body is physically feeling more like it's adapted to this expanded life, and it's a process that happens in the 3D. So we got to take things a bit slow here. It's that you're being protected. You're being guided by spirit in divine timing. Perfect timing here with the Wheel of Fortune. And your feminine side is kind of large and in charge. And it's like you've connected with that part of yourself that knows it's worthy of receiving. With the Emperor in the world. I mean, come on. It's like I'm getting main character energy, boss energy here, really coming into that truth that you deserve more out of life, right? You deserve to feel good. You deserve to be connected to that pleasure center in yourself and actually get that kind of juice out of life. That's what I'm feeling. There's been an exploration of that and almost a completion, like you've gotten there. Like part of you feels like you know you deserve it. Feeling safe in that out in the world, maybe another story, right? Being able to express that energy to other people and really put that out there and I'm hearing the word exert. Exert, is that like putting it out there to exert something? Exerting your needs and exerting what you believe. I'm just going to keep using the word. I think that's what it means. Exerting your belief that you deserve to receive. Maybe that's the next step here, I'm thinking. Because your masculine energy is kind of catching up. Going back to that analogy with the car and your physical body, right? Your physical vehicle is kind of catching up to this new expanded state. Because on the feminine side, I get the Wheel of Fortune. On the masculine side, I get the Page of Cups in reverse. So there's a masculine part of you that is so used to working way too hard and not getting anything out of it, and maybe using coping mechanisms to deal with the situation. That's what we're used to, putting way too much in and not getting anything out. And now that your feminine side's like, nah, I'm here and I'm getting what I want out of life, whether you like it or not, right? That's what your feminine side is like, really putting that energy out there. And your masculine side's like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, and there's these emotions that come up with that. There's a grieving process that comes with that. There's a process of letting go of the control and feeling everything that comes with that. We all have our feminine and masculine polarities, regardless of your own sex and how you identify. We all have these polarities inside of ourselves that need to be balanced. I'm hearing this may be playing out in one-to-one relationships. If you're in a one-to-one relationship or some kind of a partnership, this dynamic may be playing out, but this is really a reflection of how you're feeling and how those two sides of yourself are kind of coming together to create the whole. Okay, and on the other side of this process, I get the Chariot upright. So it's like I said, you're being held back to kind of come into this new emotional body and this new feeling of being connected to yourself at a safe speed. There's a safe, healthy level of growth that's happening here because you set out on the journey to create something better, more in line with yourself. And your masculine side kind of needs to sit back and reflect on this with the Hanged Man and come to this new perspective and feel these feelings and maybe sacrifice some parts of itself. And I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean, well, can we sacrifice that part of ourselves that is almost addicted to taking action and gets restless when it doesn't know what to do with itself. And like I said, there's emotions that come with that. There's a process. Let yourself feel this stuff. And if you're used to taking a lot of action and you're getting restless because you're taking more time to just feel good, and you know what I'm getting to is feelings of guilt here with this sacral chakra. This might be a big thing because that's what blocks that sacral chakra. It's being unblocked right now, and these feelings of guilt may be coming up because this part of you so strongly knows that you deserve it. And that's what you've been transmuting. You've been letting go of the guilt and coming more into a balance. I'm seeing the wings here on the feminine side. And the guilt's coming from your masculine side because it feels like it should be doing more. And maybe there's a period of separation here. The masculine maybe, while it processes this and deals with these emotions and hangs itself upside down to see this new perspective, as it moves through this process at a safe speed, there may be a feeling of detachment, of avoidance, of maybe shyness or not wanting to fully put yourself out there as you explore this and these feelings. And you're in the right place at the right time. You've done nothing wrong. You're doing everything right because you're on the journey and you're moving through the emotional process, and the body just needs time to catch up. And there's emotionally stressful situations I'm hearing that are trapped in your physical body that are being released. The more you relax and let go and drop the mask, I'm hearing there's something about your own expression in the world. And maybe, like I said, knowing you deserve, but feeling like you should be putting that out there, well, I mean, maybe that's another thing. How are people going to react to me? How are people going to react to me telling them that, no, I deserve more of this. I deserve to get paid more. I deserve for people to pay attention to me and give me that emotional nourishment. Like, maybe you're sitting there going, man, like, I deserve for people to emotionally connect with me, but how's my family going to react to that? How are my friends going to react to that? And you're exploring this energy right now, or you're going to be going through the process of doing that. And try not to be too closed off and too cold, but it's a balance thing, right? Like, allow yourself the time to process these feelings. And maybe there's something here about communication and just being really clear with people. And this can be the first step. Instead of suppression, maybe we've come from a place of suppressing everything, and then when it all gets too much, we kind of explode, right, and have a go at somebody. Instead of doing that, maybe just being really clear and saying, look, like, I'm exploring what my needs are and how I feel, and there's a bit of an emotionally turbulent experience I'm going through right now because my feminine is feeling like the emperor. I mean, you don't have to go and start talking about tarot cards, but just tell them that whoever this thing is or whatever this energy is, tell it that you need some space. And just, there's a really healthy dialogue I'm hearing, like a really healthy communication, and just letting people know that you might be a bit distant. You might just need a bit of time to yourself. And people are going to support you in that. You don't have to be afraid to voice those needs anymore. This is the next step for us, is really voicing those needs, making it clear to people in a nice way. There's something about family here coming up as your desires. I feel like some of you want to either connect with a soul tribe, or you've come into contact with some kind of a new soul family, and there's a bit of being a bit tepid or something, you know, like not really wanting to fully express yourself because of past situations where it didn't feel safe, and now you're exploring that with new people, or there's an existing family that you would just like to connect more with on an emotional level. There might be some kind of emotional issue that exists right now because of this Queen of Swords energy. Maybe you or somebody around you is being distant, is being a bit too cold and detached, and letting those emotions override the logic a little bit, and there's a feeling of suppression and then feeling like you need to get it out, and there's more of a healthy balance that is going to be attained here through going through this process. There really is something about family here, or wanting to create a family of your own and being called by spirit to be more, I don't even want to say in control of your emotions, but more safe going through the flow and more safe communicating your emotional needs to other people. I think that's what it is. Relationship, there's something about a partnership here, and your ability to communicate freely in a safe way is going to be key here. And it's something to do with your own personal nature. The root chakra and the solar plexus chakra, there's something about your own unique nature, the expression of that, feeling safe to express yourself. Guys, you're safe to take up space here. You're safe to take up space and express yourself and just let those parts of yourself out and do it in a nice, healthy, logical way where the communication is really clear. You're safe to do that. And you're safe to show the world the real you, okay? And to bring love into the situation. Put that vibration of love out there and show love to people irrespective of what's happening, and knowing that that's what you're going to receive. And if people are abusing you and mistreating you, it's okay to walk away. Don't be around the people who are going to abuse you and mistreat you. There's people out there that are for you. And I think that expressing these needs and expressing the energy of you deserving to have those needs met is going to attract that family in for you if they haven't come in. But something about the sacral chakra here and that creative energy, almost bridging the gap between your root chakra and your solar plexus chakra here, really, really interesting. Something about a family. Maybe a personal issue in the family, like I was saying, some kind of emotional issue. I'm seeing the roots here. Cancer, your ancestry. You may be exploring more about where you've come from, like on a generational level, your heritage. There may be some kind of work being done around that. Exploring that with your family. I get this family card. It's a big theme here. Connecting with, what I'm hearing too is like family systems therapy, like that family inside of yourself. If you don't know about family systems, I think it's like family systems trauma and therapy. Maybe something worth looking into. If you feel a bit like disconnected, this masculine and feminine part of yourself's a bit disconnected. And in the future, you're going to be called to balance this stuff out with the temperance in reverse. Meditate. Take things slow. Be kind to yourself. Be patient and see that bigger picture. Like I said, you've been developing that expanded self that can see all of it. Can see the new tools in the car, right? You can see how things kind of work now. Getting more cause and effect. This just fell off the top. I sort of nudged the deck, the four of wands in reverse. There's something about the home and building a more solid home life or a foundation with some kind of a family. Like there's a foundation that needs to be built around our happiness and expressing our needs and not being avoidant. Still taking that time if you need to, and being avoidant in a healthy way in terms of, okay, I need time to process this, and communicating that with people. I hope I'm not coming across too stern here. I'm full I feel like I'm, I don't know. No, I feel like you guys are vibing with this. This Queen of Swords in reverse here, this healthy level of detachment and giving yourself the space to process these things. And this Abra card here, seeing the top-down view and having that intuitive knowing. It says here, it teleports itself away from danger, making it difficult to capture. So there's a real theme of avoidance here, and like giving your spell. Maybe something about words being spells here, like being clear in your communication. Don't lie. Be honest. Tell people up front what your needs are. Maybe you need space, right? And giving yourself the time to work through all of this stuff. The time's getting away from me a bit here. I don't want this to go too long. We'll start clarifying. But like making some kind of a promise to yourself as well, that you're going to show up for yourself. Or making some kind of a commitment to somebody in a partnership or a family. There's something about people committing to each other to let you have the space when you need to process things, and also to hold space for you when you're ready to process, or something about that dynamic. Like having a clear, I'm getting a really strong message here about clear communication within some kind of a family system. This may even be with yourself. Communicating clearly with yourself, journaling your needs, getting it all out on paper and being really clear about what your needs are and not avoiding things. Because you're on this quest, right? You're making this world a better place for you, I'm hearing. You're getting more in touch with what your needs are and what makes you feel good. So embrace the quest and communicate that to people, and communicate that to yourself, and be kind with yourself. Recognize the heaviness of this process sometimes, you know, the freedom that comes with this process. These are big emotions that we're feeling. We're feeling all of it. That's what I'm getting. We're feeling all of it. So don't feel like you need to run. And the Wheel of Fortune upright in your current position. Let's go. That's like I said, you don't need to run. You don't need to run, or you're being protected. Right? Whatever this setback is, whatever this thing, it's a protection mechanism here. This all fell out. Let's see if it's the right amount of cards. We got close. Okay. Love this. Let's not mess around. Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Let's not mess around. Let's charge towards our dream life. Okay, we're getting closer to the message here. There's really clear messages around communication, being upfront, being bold, not being afraid to express your needs to people, because you're safe. You're safe to take up space. And you know what I'm getting here? Ooh, you know what I'm getting here? There's something about playing the villain, I have to say. Not going out of your way to make people feel bad, because it's about your intentions here. And I'm talking to somebody who has really good intentions. Okay, I'm talking to somebody who has good intentions. Your masculine side's hanging out, kind of feeling a bit strung out here, but it has good intentions with this yellow, okay? It has heart. You have strength. You're cultivating this strength within yourself. Your feeling of, like, your moral center, right? Your moral compass, like, you know what that is. You have good intentions for yourself and other people, right? It's all about heart. But there's something here about playing the villain when you have to, because some people are not going to like what you have to say because they're not in alignment with you. You're not living their truth. Let's say, for example, there's somebody that you've come across on your journey, and their truth and their dream was for you to be a slave to them, or for you to enable their behavior. Maybe somebody had a dream that you would support them no matter what, through their toxicity, right? Through some kind of bondage. That might be their dream. And for you to turn around and be the villain and express your truth and put your foot down and say, hang on a second, I've got my own dreams here. I've got my own needs that deserve to be met, and I'm going on my emotional journey, right? That person would see you as the villain. You would be the villain in their story, right? And there's something about embracing that part of yourself, as long as you're living from the heart and expressing your true self, expressing your needs, your authentic self, your authenticity, taking up that amount of space. You're safe to do that. And sometimes you're going to be the villain to people. And I think that I'm hearing a siren out the back there, out the back of my house. There's something about that. I think I've hit something there, and that's going to be an energy that we're exploring. Okay, where do we go with this now? There's been burdens in the past. This is what I'm saying. You've been carrying other people's burdens, and you've said enough is enough. Some of you guys in the past have let go of some of those relationships where people's expectations of you was not in line with your truth, and you were carrying other people's burdens, not delegating the work, doing too much. That masculine side of yourself's now being forced to just hang out because you were doing way too much, and it was affecting your health. It was affecting your financial situation. And I see you like cutting some toxic situations, maybe cutting them loose here. It was affecting your faith. That's what I'm getting. This whole thing, and the way that you were used to doing things, and the way that life had almost been set up for you. It's like you didn't ask for any of this. It's like life's been set up for you a certain way by other people, and you've embarked on this journey, said enough's enough, because it was affecting your faith in the universe. It's like you were getting signs from God to just get out of here. and maybe detach yourself. With this Queen of Swords in reverse in the past, I'm hearing that maybe people called you out for being detached, or for not showing up for them, or for being too distant. You're being too cold. But what was happening was you were seeing the truth behind the situation. You were getting down to the roots of what your nature is and healing your own authentic expression and your identity. Okay, you've been healing your identity, getting more in touch with your inner child here and your ancestry, getting tapped into your spirit guides that are around you here, healing some kind of a generational trauma. And through all of this, maybe people were sitting there saying you're being too distant. And look, what can we learn from this? Maybe communication is going to really serve us moving forward. Maybe really clear-cut communication, not being afraid to be the villain, because that's just other people's perception of us. You have the heart. You're a good person. Right? You are trying to fill your own cup so that you can help other people who are more in alignment with you. You're letting other people go on their own journey. You're not going to enable toxic behaviors anymore, if I can pick these up. You're not going to enable other people's toxic behaviors and their systems, enable other people's toxic family systems. Enough's enough. You're not going to do it. And maybe in the past it would have served you to really communicate that with people instead of just shutting down. But that's fine, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn. Divine timing, Wheel of Fortune, showing up twice now in the reading, being okay with change, knowing that expansion and growth is a part of life. It's something that happens, and sometimes we need to express things in an unhealthy way so we can catch ourselves, we can learn from it, and we can move forward. There's a big thing here about communication, just being upfront with people and not being afraid to be that villain. As long as you're living from your heart and know that you're doing the right thing, it's all about intention here. If you know that you have good intentions and you don't mean to harm people, you can show up and be the villain in other people's life if their expectations are not in line with your dreams. And that's that. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I think that right now there's a process here, maybe literally in this reading, where being held back and this setback and knowing that you've grown these kind of new legs and you need your body to catch up and keep releasing some of this trauma out of your body here, that's, I think, alleviating a lot of like emotional pressure, maybe putting emotional pressure on yourself, like feeling like, oh, am I being the victim here? I'm really getting that, like questioning, oh, am I in a victim mentality? Am I safe to express my emotions? Should I just like continue to suppress them? Like there's been an energy of suppression and carrying these burdens along with you, not letting go of them in the past, and they need to be felt. And I think that really knowing that you're safe at this time to feel these emotions, that's going to alleviate a lot of emotional pressure and alleviate some kind of stress in your life. Like you are safe to feel these things, to look back at the past, at the situations that weren't super ideal, and just look at them objectively and give yourself so much grace and be kind to yourself and look at that old version of yourself and just say, look, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm learning to communicate better. Okay, I was in a really rough situation. Okay, forgiving yourself a little bit here. I was in a really rough situation. I was carrying a lot of burdens. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just a kid. Okay, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, when you're 20 years old, you're just a kid. I'm 30. I feel like I don't know anything. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give yourself grace here. Knowing that, okay, I'm learning. I'm going to learn from this. I'm not going to do that anymore. And it's all good. It's all good. You know? And I think it's going to get to a point where there's a letting go that happens. I mean, you're going to learn from it. I feel like you already have. You already know what's not healthy. You already know what your needs are. So kind of maybe... No, it's going to get to a point here, I think, now where, like I said, the body needs to catch up. I don't think you need a lot of new information here. I think what's done is done, and you're learning for it, and you're kind of ready to charge ahead here. There's this feeling of restlessness, and almost, I'm just getting meditation is huge here, because I had this temperance in reverse in the future. and I get the Hanged Man on your masculine side. I think there's going to be a new perspective attained from just meditating and being with yourself and letting your body relax, getting more in touch with yourself on an emotional level and not on a logical level. I think I feel like you've got the information you need. You've gotten enough information out of this old situation, and it's time to just feel it. It's time to just feel the feelings here. I'm really getting that. Big call to meditate and keep doing what you're doing. Keep having that stillness practice and just going as long as you can, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, where you're just doing absolutely nothing and receiving these insights from your body. And you may start feeling some discomfort in your sacral area, in your root area, in your throat. Let these feelings come up. And if it starts to get too much, that's fine. Take a break. There's no rush here. You're being guided in divine timing, and your dreams are not going to pass you by. But there's something about sitting with your body and those sensations and feeling what the body's trying to tell you here, not with the logic, not trying to assign a story to it, not going back to that old story, but creating a new story through growing and letting this emotional body expand and catch up. We don't need to assign a story to it. We just need to feel these things. And it's going to help us see really clearly, because we've gotten enough logic out of the situation, and having that strong emotional center, being strong, having the strength to deal with these issues, having the strength to deal with these family issues that are coming up. It's coming from an emotional place. I don't think the logic is really going to help. I'm sorry to say. I think that developing this emotional strength and being able to feel safe, feel strong in your emotions while you express these truths, okay, going from this into this and feeling like you are in touch with yourself and your emotions are regulated enough to express these truths. I think that's the key here. I think that's the communication that is needed. There's some kind of maybe a promise that needs to be made, or a commitment that needs to be made. Committing to letting other people have the space and to also holding space for them if you're in some kind of a one-to-one relationship. But I'm really getting a commitment to yourself. Committing to yourself that you're responsible for your own happiness in a way. You have the tools to work on this stuff, right? You have the tools to work through this kind of emotional stuff that's coming up. And you've shed a lot of skin, right? The lizard has been shedding its skin. And you may be feeling a bit raw and tender right now, and you need that space to process things. And that's totally fine. But the skin will harden quickly, right? You'll become tough quickly as you keep working with yourself. Meditation is everything here. I'm serious. Meditation is everything. The stillness practice, mindful yoga, going for a walk, journaling, getting that stuff out of your head and just being in your body, feeling into yourself. That's the quest that you're on. Developing this emotional body. Okay, I don't want this thing to go too long. Okay. Future. Judgment. 8 of Swords, Temperance in reverse. It's this temptation to assign the story. It's this temptation to assign the story to what you're feeling, and you're being called on a really deep level here. It's part of your life purpose and activation of your body and coming in line with your higher self. You're being called. Parts of yourself are being activated, and like I said, the story's not really going to help. The logic's not really going to help, because we're rewriting a new story here. And God wants you to be rested. God wants you to be emotionally regulated and feeling good and feeling open, feeling like you're ready to receive the gifts, receive the blessings. That's where Spirit wants you right now. That's where Spirit wants you. And, we don't want something to happen, so let's just meditate. Otherwise, I don't want you guys to get put in a position where you're forced. And that's just the real. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, judgment's ruled by Pluto. And if you don't answer the call and you don't keep integrating these parts of yourself on an emotional level, You may end up with a paid vacation from work or something. I know it doesn't sound like the worst thing, but I think it's better to be proactive here and deal with the energy before it deals with you. I'm just being straight up, just being realistic here. Not trying to scare you. I'm not saying something bad's going to happen. I'm just saying it's always more beneficial to deal with the energy and answer the call before it deals with you. And don't worry about the story. Don't worry about what the thoughts are trying to tell you, because they're part of some kind of old paradigm that we're moving away from and letting go of. And the inspired action is the key. Feeling good in yourself, like feeling naked, like on a mental or spiritual level, right? Like maybe you do need to just get naked or something. I don't know. Get some sun on your body. But I'm talking about, I'm seeing this naked figure here, and that's that part of yourself. That's the expression of yourself that isn't wearing anything, isn't wearing the story, isn't wearing the old narrative. Okay, stripping it all off, stripping it all away. Okay, unbinding yourself here. Getting naked in your mind. It's like, do you understand what I mean? Like, getting the clothes of this old story, getting them off and starting again and being more in touch with you. That naked part of yourself in nature that is connected to nature, because we are nature. That's where we come from, and that's where we go on this 3D plane. So get outside, get into the stillness. Just sit for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, watch the clouds. Watch a bug. Sit there. I can sit there and watch if I see a praying mantis in my garden, I could sit there for half an hour to an hour and just watch that thing. So fascinating. Find things out in nature, hug a tree. Have these conversations with yourself from that place of being rested, being rejuvenated, being inspired. That's where Spirit wants you. Spirit's calling you here. Spirit's calling you in a big way as part of your life purpose to be in touch with yourself and your human nature. Be in touch with your nature. That's what the journey was really about all along. The material stuff will come and go, but the pleasure that you're going to get out of life, the way that you're going to be connected with yourself here and your creative body, the pleasure, you won't be able to put a price on that. The feelings of peace and enjoyment, that's what the journey was all about. And you won't be able to put a price on that. So don't be afraid to take up space. Voice those needs in a really healthy way. Be proactive with your communication. Don't be afraid. Anyone that pushes back, they're not for you. And look, we're creating our dream life. Something about family here, guys. You're doing it. So proud of you. Awesome work. I know this one's getting pretty long. Let's do a couple of Oracle cards, Healing Waters. And this one just got away from me a little bit. I really respect your time, and I know there's a message here, and there's really actionable steps, and I'm not going to sit here and fluff about, so I just respect your time, that's all. Healer, seer, priest, priestess, priest-ex, soul purpose. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, okay? There's a call here. This is your life purpose. This is the journey that you've set out to go on, right? Is to heal yourself. Heal that pleasure center and get yourself feeling good here. And you've been doing it. You've grown the new legs, okay? So walk, don't run. Healer, soul purpose. And it starts with healing yourself. Through healing yourself, you will be able to express these experiences to other people, and you will be able to help other people with their problems. But you are pouring into your own cup. You're seriously being called to feel the things that are happening in your body and let your body guide you instead of assigning some kind of a story to these feelings. The sirens, use your voice, expansion, freedom. This is what I'm saying. Use your voice. Don't be afraid to take up space. Tell people what your needs are. This is what's going to free you. Feeling regulated in your emotions. Like you can feel the stuff. You're giving yourself space to feel these things and unbind yourself here. Remove the narrative and just tell other people, I need space to deal with this stuff. And you're going to feel emotionally regulated so that you can do that and you can feel safe expressing this to the world. This is your feminine energy, and it's time to bring that out into the world using your throat chakra. using your sacral and your throat chakra, right? Which are mirrors of each other because of the alignment, right? So there's really something there about that. Selkie, come out of hiding. Embrace who you really are. This is everything I was saying in the reading. Okay, show the world the real you. Be patient. Walk, don't run. You can just do it one step at a time. Divine timing. The Wheel of Fortune came out twice, upright. Okay, come out of hiding. Embrace who you really are and voice those needs. All right, I'm totally going to leave it. So I think that was super clear and helpful. And this is where you're going. Regardless of your sex or how you identify, you're becoming the King of Cups, becoming sure, safe, secure in those emotions, being able to express them with other people. Bam, mic drop. Let's go. Okay, that's it. I'm so proud of you. Like I said, you're doing it. You're doing the process. You've done nothing wrong. You're moving here in divine timing. You've learnt from the past. You're letting it go, and you are honoring yourself and your emotions, and life is going to start to feel so good. So good. So thank you again for being here and sharing this space with me. I so deeply appreciate it. And I love you so, so, so much, guys. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well. This is major emotional work. And this is big picture stuff here. So much major arcana. And you're on the quest. So let's go. So proud of you. And I can't wait to do it all again in the next reading. I love you. Bye-bye.